everybody, this is John, and this is the Reuniclus video I've been talking about. I'm going to do it now. We're going to look at Reuniclus, see what he does well. We're going to get right into it here. As you can see, when a Reuniclus is not in the battle, I'm going to be speeding up. I understand that the other Pokemon on a team with Reuniclus are just as important as him in some cases, so we will be looking at them as well. So I'm not going to cut any of the video out so we can see how the other Pokemon work on the team, but it is going to be at 2 times when he's not around there because I want to see directly what he does. See what he does well, what he switches into, that sort of thing. So we see the Arcanine takes down the Excelgor here, and to respond to that, he puts in his Reuniclus here, or what looks like his Reuniclus. Obviously uses Night Daze. It's not. This is one of the things of Reuniclus. It begs the question: what kind of attacks is Reuniclus going to draw? And obviously going to draw Dark attacks, Ghost attacks, and Bug attacks. So he is a good illusion for. He is a good illusion for Zoroark, and that's what we're seeing here. Obviously. He uses Night Daze again, misses there. I don't know if he's Choice Spec there on the Zoroark or not. So he does get hit. It's going to be revealed here, and it is going to go back to full speed. I don't know why it stutters like that. It is going to be annoying if it does that the entire time. Either way, so we're speed back up here. We see Zoroark draws in exactly what he wants. He draws in the Dark Attack with Reuniclus. That's one of the things Reuniclus is going to do for your team. And he's bulky enough that people know they're going to need to use a high power Dark Attack, something like a Tyranitar, or in this case a Crocodile. So, you see. He comes in with that. He gets that's dead now. It comes in with Haxorus. You see. So the question is kind of what did Reuniclus do there for you? As a support Pokemon, you immediately make sure you have to have a Dark Pokemon on your team to deal with him, and that's what he's got here. He's got Crocodile. He's out there. He uses Crunch. It's not very effective. He manages to kill it off. So it did give him trouble, admittedly. I don't have to say that. Anyways, so we get Volcarona and Archaeops here. Archaeops is gonna kill Volcarona in spite of being low half health. I was surprised when I saw that. Obviously his attack and speed are halved. He does kill him anyways with Rock Slide. Shows how weak Volcarona is, especially the physical side and especially the rock. So he does die. Sends in Bisharp here. These are Pokemon I haven't seen too much of. So some of these battles are actually kind of interesting on their own merit, but obviously not going to be talking about that too much. So in this one we are going to see now Reuniclus is going to come in here against Galvantula, and I believe this was on a free. No, it wasn't on a free switch. So he's going to get thundered right away. And this is going to do decent damage off of it. The only problem is it is coming off of Galvantula. He does use Psychic in response. Galvantula's not a very strong Pokemon. Reuniclus can easily switch in on Galvantula, which is, I think, why he would pick him there. I do think this might be his last Pokemon now, but he does pick Reuniclus to switch in on Galvantula. Takes the Thunder, not a problem. And then he gets hit again, and he has to recover. Now, you're going to get into here what I'm going to call recover cycles. Basically, what he's forced to do now is recover over and over again. We're going to see that here. And the reason he's forced to do this is because it barely recovers more than half his health. You're just going to see Thunder's going to be able to two-shot him no matter what. So if he attacks and kills him here, whatever the opponent can switch it next is going to finish off Reuniclus. So by recovering on that turn, he's forced himself into this situation where he had no choice but to recover. So we're going to see here, he switches in Tangrowth. Tangrowth is going to use anything, probably Power Whip. I think it's Power Whip. Kills off Reuniclus. Reuniclus had no chance. Reuniclus in this battle really played a support role. He didn't really do much on his own. He kills off Galvantula, but it wasn't enough. If he gets off a Psychic there, we might see some damage done to the Tangrowth, but it's not going to be enough, and he's going to die, and he's going to lose the battle anyway, so we're going to see that. So what we got in there is recover cycles. I'm going to talk about basically what I think those are, is, and a lot of Pokemon have them. It especially has to do with bulky Pokemon that can take a hit, but then can recover it off. It's not unique to him, so what you're going to do is barely recover your lost HP, and this battle is going to be another example of them, I do believe, and it's going to be set up here in the very beginning. And it's going to be because Reuniclus is a Pokemon that's really good if you can get him in on a clean switch. By clean switch, I mean, you're not taking any damage on the way in. When they start Reuniclus' Magic Guard, he can switch as many times as you want. And he doesn't always have to take damage from Stealth Rock, Spike, stuff like that. So he's going to switch in for his Reuniclus here. I think he thought his U-turn was going to be slower than Jolteon's. Either way, it wasn't. So he doesn't get Thunderbolted on Excelgor. Instead, Reuniclus is forced to take this. He does take a lot of damage from that. So you see, a lot of people say Reuniclus is too bulky, that's why his strength, his special attack's too high, and his bulk's too good anyways, and that's why he shouldn't be in overuse. I've read that before. I don't buy that at all. You see how much damage that Thunderbolt did right there, and that's exactly why he shouldn't be. I mean, that's going to two-shot him, and Jolteon's obviously faster. He's not going to get up his Trick Room, Calm Mind, whatever set he's running there. So, anyways, back to the recover cycles. Because of that right there, whenever he moves Reuniclus in there, he's going to be forced to recover. So the opponent knows what he's going to do whenever Reuniclus is. He needs to move in. Furthermore, Reuniclus has to come in on a free switch. He can't come in on any damage or he's going to die. So he's going to be forced to really play 2 as opponent here, and you can't use Reuniclus. That's a big loss for a team. I mean, if you lose one of your Pokemon, especially Pokemon as powerful and as threatening as Reuniclus, it's major drawback. So we see him use it. So typically the recycle or the back to the recovery cycles. I think that it's usually going to be slow Pokemon that have it up. So I mean, it's going to be Pokemon like Swampert and Reuniclus, and even this Jellicent that's on the screen right now doing, for example, can be stuck in these cycles because they're slower. The first to respond to the opponent's attack. So that's one of the things about being a slow Pokemon. Obviously, there's not much choice. Most of the bulky Pokemon are slow. I can't think of any. I can't even think of any fast ones off the top of my head. But so, it's one of those things that just you're screwed. If you're using a bulky Pokemon, you're going to be slower. So Trick Room works well. That's why Reuniclus with the Trick Room can become very powerful because you can recover before the attack. He doesn't have to respond. So he doesn't have to respond. Basically, he sets up the battle. So the recovery cycles, what they're going to do is they're going to cost you the ability to do anything except for recover. Once you get into it, you're stuck recovering, and you're going to see it in this battle a lot. This is a really good example of why he needs a clean switch, or at least needs to move in on something where he can take 3 shots from it. That Jolteon was a bad switch. He gets in there, he takes the damage, he can't come back now. Basically, the recovery cycle forces you to attack. What you need to do is just attack, and just attack and try and kill what you're fighting, and then you can recover on something else. But if it's a Pokemon that you're going to get stuck in a recovery cycle with, just attack and try and kill it. Because, I mean, this recovery cycle is not going to do anything. So we're seeing a bit of a Jellicent battle here. To be honest, it's a bit silly. Jellicents can't really do anything to each other. They're just taking turns protecting and toxicking. So, and seeing who. Unfortunately, the female Jellicent, which doesn't bother me, I hate that form of it, gets toxic. So he does switch out here, and I wonder why he switched out at this point in this battle. Because obviously he's got the advantage with toxic. He can stay in and just kind of let the damage do itself. Instead, he switches out, and his opponent happened to switch out at the same time. And I don't know what happened if they were playing each other in real life, and they both said, "Oh, well, we'll switch now." So they do switch. He switches Reuniclus. This time he gets in a free switch, but you see he's up against something. His opponent switches at the same time. He's up against something that's faster, something that can kill him in one shot. He does use Mega Horn. That would have killed Reuniclus, no doubt about it. Probably would have killed Reuniclus even at 100% health. So he does switch. He is forced to switch out, and he can't recover. So, and that's really what he's looking for now is an opportunity to get Reuniclus in there and recover it. You might not even say that if you asked him what he's doing, but that is what's happening. So we're gonna see he's got Ferrothorn in here. He manages to get off the Slowbug thanks to the Rocky Helmet and the Iron Barbs, which is a very powerful combo, I think. So he takes in Jellicent. Jellicent does have Night. What was it? Night. I can't remember what it's called now. Night something. I forget. Doesn't matter. Night Days. Is that what it's called? Night Days. Either way, it does 100 health, so 100 damage. So every time. Anyways, he sends in this Crafty. Now I'm gonna have trouble with Pokemon names, so that's gonna be good. He sends in Scrafty here. He's got a bulk up. Obviously Shed Skin, not gonna make it. This Jellicent really can't do much to him. He does use Nightshade here. It's gonna do 100 health. So, let me see. What else? I mean, if you ask what kind of Pokemon supports Reuniclus well, and Scrafty's one of those. He's bulky. He can take a hit, and he has immunities to both Dark. He isn't, well, the big one's Dark. He's weak to Bug, I think. Or maybe Bug's neutral. Ghost is a weakness. But he can take those Dark hits. And most common, I would think, when you see Reuniclus, you're gonna switch. You're gonna see what can I put in that can hit with a Dark attack. Because Dark attacks in general are usually the most powerful. Bugs have trouble getting in because they're so usually very frail. Ghosts in general are saved. Ghosts usually end up in a bulky roll, a rapid spin roll, or if you have a Gengar, that's really the only offensive Ghost I can think of off the top of my head. There are probably others. So don't be angry if you hear that and you're like, well, I have a bulky and it's a offensive Dusclops, and so that's great, man. What we're gonna see here is he kills off this with Thunder Punch, and now he's forced to bring in back Reuniclus because I think this is the last Pokemon, second to last. Either way, he doesn't have anything left here, so he's gonna get Thunder Punch by Medicham, and this isn't gonna kill him. And so you see he gets down to 17 health, he lives it, and he's forced to recover. Now this isn't so bad. He's gonna recover considerably more actually than what Thunder Punch did, but he's forced to recover again after this turn. So you can see he's got 2-9 here. He's gonna get Thunder Punch again. This must be a choice. I would bet it's a choice Scarf, judging by how it's. Well, it might be choice Ban because it did. It was faster than Jellicent. It was faster than Reuniclus. That's not very difficult. So it might be choice Ban. In that case, it should be doing more damage to this actually. So I'm gonna bet it's choice Scarfed. He's forced now. He gets paralyzed in that, and that's really unlucky. That's really gonna force this recovery cycle to be even worse than it is. And I want you to watch how many times he recovers. He uses recover in a row here. So he's Thunder Punch again. He's just gonna keep recovering off these Thunder Punches, and it's not a big deal because he is recovering more health than it's costing him. But he is paralyzed, and paralysis is really one of the worst. is I would say probably the worst condition that Reuniclus can be hit with, because I mean, it's gonna stop him from using these recovers. So you see, that's the third time in a row he's been forced to use recover. He's not bringing his health up enough. And we see he's Thunder Punched here, and I think this is the one where I think this is the battle where, yeah, he gets paralyzed right here, and now he's forced right back into the recovery cycles. So he can't do anything. If he just attacks on the very first time, he might not get paralyzed, and then he can recover maybe on the next Pokemon. I mean, chances are his health is so low anyways, and he's so slow, it's not going to matter anyhow. He's going to die anyways. But if at least you attack, you're not going to be paralyzed. You can recover up then. If he doesn't get paralyzed, I don't know if I'd call this a recovery cycle, because he can get out of it eventually. Because eventually he's going to hit with something like Shadow Ball, and it's going to kill off the opponent. So, on a side note, I do like the name Free Hug, because it does look like Reuniclus wants to get a big old hug on everybody. He's a lovable Pokemon. I don't know if he's a teddy bear or something inside of a I don't know what he's inside of, some sort of ooze. I think he's supposed to be like a cell or something. Reuniclus. Uniclus. Like nucleus, I suppose that's what that name is supposed to be playing on, like one nucleus or something. I don't know. Either way, he does hit with Shadow Ball finally. And we're going to see, really that was the choice where he could either recover there, and he hits with Shadow Ball, it kills him off. Obviously Metachan, not a very strong Pokemon, he does kill it off. If he misses with that, or if he uses recover again, he's going to be stuck in these cycles pretty much forever, because he's going to eventually be paralyzed again. He's not going to be able to recover, and he's going to be stuck doing that forever. Recover only has 10 PP, so you see he went through 5 of them there, I believe, and so he's got, even if it's maxed out, he's only got 10 left. Thunder Punch has 15, I think, on its own, so just that alone probably is going to beat him. So he does die in the next turn. He finally attacks. It does die. You can see the recovery cycles kind of forced in the very beginning. The recovery cycles were really forced right at the start when the Jolteon hits him with a Thunderbolt, because then he gets low enough on health where he spends the whole rest of the battle being forced to find a place where he can recover the Reuniclus in. So you're gonna see the damage that does there. So that battle pretty much showed the importance of the free switch, sort of the dangers. I think it's a good example of what you should do if you see yourself going to get stuck in one of those recovery cycles with any Pokemon. Just attack, do some damage, switch out if you can. Obviously he couldn't, that's all he had left. So all he had the dragon left. Maybe he should have switched into the dragon, because he's using Thunder Punch there. That's not going to do a ton of damage to Hexers, and maybe you're faster, you can kill him off. I don't know. I mean, you have to do something else, because the recovery cycles are not going to get you where you need to be, which is on top in the lead of the battle. So this battle uses a different set of Reuniclus. You're gonna see he's setting up here. He's got the Onyx in here. I assume it's got an Eviolite on it. It's got Roar and Dragon Tail. It's got Stealth Rock, so he pushes it out. And what he does here is he's forced a good matchup for his Reuniclus to switch on. So he gets in what is this thing called? Not Throw, but the other one, whose name now escapes me, because I barely ever see this Pokemon. It's in the Elite Four. I don't know its name. I can't. Is it like Saws or something like that? Sock or something like that. Anyways, you see this is a burn. He's got a burn. He's got the Flame Orb on, so you know it's coming. And he gets a favorable matchup against it. And so the opponent comes in. He doesn't do any damage. He's forced to switch back into his. This is his Reuniclus check. This is Absol. That's why he's got it on his team. I almost assure you that's why it's on there. And it's good Pokemon on its own. So he switches. He uses on the switch. He uses Trick Room, and then he uses Trick. And I think that's the right order to do it. You can do it the other